Hey everyone, welcome back to our Cosy Halloween advent opening and build along, I guess. We got a cute little mimikyu in the Pokemon calendar yesterday, and today, opening door number 2. And we have a witchy little Eevee. These are so firmly put into their little plastic housing. Oh, I've accidentally torn that. Didn't want to do that. But no, we have an Eevee with a witch's hat. Very soft ears. But they're very cute. I don't know whether I like the ones that are Halloween-y by nature more or less than the ones who are dressing up. I know Pokemon Go has introduced lots of collect the hats, dress your Pokemon up. But again, they're a very cute Pokemon, so enjoying this. But we are also going to be doing a little bit more building on the Ecto one. So we did about 10 pages yesterday, including having to do a lot of moving bricks around because I looked in, I got one piece wrong. So let's see where we are. So yeah, we're about there. And I picked up these really cute coffin boxes at Flying Tiger. And it's about £4 for 2 of these. This is perfect for keeping all the extra bits in, so. These are the remaining pieces from bags 1 and 2. And let me just arrange the workspace a little bit. There. You can hear both of the cats fussing around at the moment. We've had some very wet and rainy weather, so they haven't been going out and exploring very well. Just been menacing each other. Okay, so these yellow bricks in there, and then a couple of grey pieces and a black piece. There we go. So I was saying yesterday that whilst I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan, like, I like it, but it's not my main fandom. I really do like the Ecto 1 car. I think part of it is that it's really iconic. You see so many people that have recreated the vehicle for Comic-Cons. And I remember going to a few events with friends and seeing people's takes on it. Some of them are really accurate, some of them are like cute little comical versions, like having taken a smart car and turned it into an Ecto half. But just all the extra detailing on it, all the attention to detail that people put in, I really enjoy seeing those pan out. I've been very tempted to pick up the Transformers Ecto 1 crossover. Probably more than any of the other ones they've done. But it's... I don't know, it strikes me as being almost as much of a member of the cast as any of the four main comedians. I'm not saying it's necessarily worse or better than any other. Have I put these in the wrong place again? Yes, but luckily that's not as big a problem as it was yesterday. Spotted it much earlier. Yeah, I said I was going to find a brick separator before I did today's build, but I went through my Lego box and haven't been able to find one. So hopefully I'll be able to grab one in the next couple of days. There it is. Okay. So I now have these blocks on either side. A brown block to hide dead center. And now some real assemblies. Okay. So this is tire. Squeezing the tires onto each of these wheels. I got those on. Yeah. almost lost the hubcap, which goes through the whole wheel. So yeah, I was just thinking about the other sort of iconic 80s cars, and apart from, let's see, you've got the 89 Batmobile, which is just sneaking in there. The DeLorean from Back to the Future. Transformers have just done a Knight Rider. Doesn't really scale with any of their other stuff, but it's got the sounds and the lights, and it looks kind of cool. It's a little bit tight. There. And then these just go into the 4 spots all round the edge. So that's at least starting to look car-like. I'm doing this a little bit earlier than I usually do, and I can still hear quite a lot of sound from the streets, but it's hopefully not being picked up too loudly on camera. Okay. And now I have to box in this piece. And there should be a couple of 2x2s. Sorry, 2x1s. If you've watched my older content, you can see that this isn't where I used to film my stuff. And that's still all set up. I could go back and film there any given moment, but it's actually a little bit draining doing toy videos. I found myself desperately trying to get either stuff that nobody else had seen or things that people were talking about. It was kind of cutting into my enjoyment of the toys themselves. If I do go back to it, it's going to very much be... Let's see what... Yeah. If I do go back to doing reviews, it's going to be going back to my collection rather than trying to pick up new stuff. Okay, so this is where it starts to get a bit more complicated because you are not making symmetrical here. And it looks like there's a piece missing, so I'm going to have to dig into bag 3, I think, and see whether it's there. But let's see what I can do with what we've got. Yep, definitely time to open the next bag up. Bag 3, let's see. Yep, there we go. So in this version, they have a whole bunch of lab style stuff in the background. So when you take the roof off, you can put in probably Egon, to go through results and scans. Oh, I've got two different snot bricks. So I now have to make sure I'm really using the right one. Because both these instructions look like, there we go. So I think we've got what's technically called a headlamp brick, which has got, let's see if I can show that off, that little lip on the bottom. I have a pair of those, and a 1x1 snot brick, which is just extended out one. There we go. Okay, so that's up to page 18. I'm gonna finish these 2 pages, and yeah, let's see how we do once we've done these, because it's lots of very tiny fiddly bits, which seem to be attached in the least firm way you can possibly get away with it in an official Lego connection. Whereas the Halloween box that I did on the first set of these was very, very much their own thing. This is actually being quite cheeky and copying an existing Lego design, so at least you know the connections here are going to be official. There's supposed to be another one of these plates, but I can't find it just yet. So I'll have to remember, if I find it, to put it in there. But I have to put 4 partial hinges the bonnet. There we go. That's the missing piece for this. So sorry if I keep on drifting out of shot. I'm not so used to making. Yeah, this setup is basically my dining room table with a couple of cereal boxes on either side, a plank above those, and my phone resting on that just to give me the height. But obviously I am taking that down between every recording. Do you know what? Let's do these last 2 pages, 21 and 22, mainly because I really don't, completely my own feelings on the subject, and it doesn't affect the build, but I really do not like leaving half completed hinges. I guess that's from as a child playing with Lego and digging through just one huge box of parts and the frustration of finding just this piece on its own without anything to give it the functionality. I mean, I know that with the plate version, it sometimes makes sense to take it apart and flip it over to change the angle things sit at, but when you're 6 and you just want to have a tank that opens up, there's nothing more disappointing than a partial hinge. Okay, so I'm guessing that these are supposed to be cylinder heads, and that once you've got these installed and tilted back at an angle, it mimics the Cadillac's V8. I'm sure I'll have some car person tell me actually it's a V12. That looks very cool there. Let's see. I now have to find this tiny piece on a clip which sits down the middle. I'm guessing to keep them at exactly the right angle for display. Yeah, because if I push that down into the groove and then close them up around it, that looks very engine-y. I do hope that when this is all put together, there will be some sort of hinge letting you open that up, and that's not just a clever thing that they're doing, which is then going to get completely hidden away. we have one more of those. Ah, there we go. So that seems all ready for me to start building the front of the car. The final thing I will do, which is not yet in the instruction, but in the same way as I hate hinges being in pieces, I'm just going to put the steering wheel on there. And I'll pack this up and we will continue tomorrow from section 39 on page, no, section 36 on page 23. Excellent. Thanks for building along with me, and I will see you tomorrow.